Welcome for some zombies on Die Rise. We're going to be tackling the high maintenance Easter egg, and we're going to be using Richtofen's path to complete it, since it's pretty simple. To get started, what we need to do is build a nav table. So we need to turn on the power and make our way to the top floor. The meteorite's going to be right there in that little garbage pile. And the workbench that we're going to place it on is just underneath the red dragon right here. You have to kind of fiddle around to find the spot to hold X to throw it on the part though. All the parts of the nav table are going to be found on the roof instead of like in transit where you had to scour the entire map to try and find them. So the board is generally found right there behind the nav table. The radio is going to be over here near the back little steps behind that little hut. The hardest part to get and bring back to the table is going to be the card reader because it's in Dead Man's Corner where there's only one way out. So picking up the card reader is going to be the easy part here, but making your way back is going to require you to have a couple of thousand points to open up the doorways to make it back to the roof. You can save a couple of points by jumping on this elevator here. Make sure it's not going up to where it's going to squish you. To save some time, I'm just going to skip to the next part where we're actually putting the nav card on the table. But if you fall down that elevator instead of taking the little jump down to the mattresses, just save 750 points. And probably save a couple of rounds of aggravation of trying to fight some zombies. But anyways, now that the nav table is complete, we need to move on to activating the Chinese symbols that are on top of the elevators. There are 4 symbols on top of 4 elevators. 2 are going to be in the spawn tower, as you can see here, right next to the trample steamer bench. And the other 2 are going to be in the power tower. So, if I can control the camera a little better, we're going to go over to the power tower, and the 3rd symbol is going to be located on this elevator here. And then the 4th one is going to be located on the elevator we rode up here to the roof, which is all the way down here, but it's not quite up to the roof yet. All 4 players have to stand on these symbols at the same time. This can be a little tricky since all the elevators are on different cycles and they're not always going up and down at the same time. So you just need to pay attention that you don't ride the elevator all the way up to the top to where it could squish you. Once all 4 of you guys are on the symbols, they're going to glow, and then we're going to move on to step number 3. And once they light up, you'll hear Rictofen do his little bit about what he needs next. So our next one is going to be activating these 4 Chinese symbols located throughout the map in a certain order. One of the symbols is located out the quick revive elevator. A second symbol is going to be located over here next to the spire. All you have to do is drop down from above. Our 3rd symbol is going to be located in the food court area that's down the escalator from the SVU sniper. This is in the spawn tower as well. You also note that these have to be activated in a certain order. If you get one out of order, they all turn off and you have to redo it. So it's just going to be trial and error to get these to all light up in this right order. And it changes each time you play. Alright, once the Chinese symbols are activated in the correct order, you'll hear Richtofen's voice again with the next step, and now we're going to need one player to grab a sniper rifle and snipe the dragon's balls out of their mouth. There is no specific spot where you have to stand to snipe the balls, but it's just an area that you need a clear shot and you can actually see what you're doing. Just a little side tangent is that when this is completed, this is the last similar step that Richtofen and Maxis have for completing the Easter egg. So since we're covering Richtofen's path, this is where the paths diverge. So for the next step for Richtofen's, we need one player to build this liquefier. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know how to do that already, so I'm just going to skip to this next spot. So once this liquefier is built, we need to go back to the spawn tower in the starting room, and you'll see that the balls from the dragon's mouth are now under the paws of the lions. So we need one player to shoot the balls with this liquefier until they start spinning. This way Maxis can't get them. Make sure that the player standing next to it does not hit X to take the balls out from underneath the lion's paws. Otherwise you have to restart or just go straight to Maxis' path instead. Now that that's completed, we need to have the trample steamer assembled. As before, I'm not going to cover where the parts are. Since I've already covered them in another video. But once we get the trample steamers, we're going to place them on the 4 zombie markers that are on the power tower. You got 2 over there near that entrance, and then we got another one over there next to the power tower, and then we have a 4th one over next to the quick revive elevator. The zombies that we're flinging towards the Spire are going to act as sacrifices to help power Richtofen's plan. Once we sacrifice enough of the undead, the legs of the Spire are going to glow blue, and that's going to take us on to the final step of the Easter eggs. The final step requires one player to have the galvanized knuckles, and then a somewhat simple knowledge of Mahjong tiles. Next, you have to match up the directional tiles with the bamboo number tiles that are located throughout the map. The tiles are going to look like this here. This one happens to always be in the same spot, and it represents north. The picture there with the Chinese symbols and the bamboo represent what the tiles will look like, and you have to match the number tiles with the directional tiles. They're going to be either green, blue, red, or black. And this is going to determine the order you have to hit the legs on the Spire with the galvanized knuckles. Since you already know what one of the first legs are, determining the other 3 legs will be simple as far as which direction they're facing. This tile will always be located here. This one represents north and the north Spire pole right there. And then from there, we're going to have to hunt for the remaining tiles. One location is down this way. It's going to be sitting on top of the washer in here. Or, not the washer, but the counter table. And make sure you pay attention to the color and what symbol it has on it, and either jot it down on a piece of paper or keep track of it somehow. Our next tile is going to be located over near Dead Man's Corner. It's going to be up in this building right here on the lawn chair. This tile represents the first number tile, and it's going to be a number 2, demonstrated by the 2 bamboo pieces on the tile. The next location is going to be found in this area near where the first mystery box is, and it's going to be located on this couch on one of the pillows. The next location can be down this elevator shaft. We're going to go down 2 or 3 floors, and it's going to be located right there near that broken wall. I should also have mentioned that the knuckles are just 1 floor above this in the room, so make sure somebody has 6,000 points when they come here to get the knuckles. From here, we're going to make our way down into the bottom of the elevator shaft into the Buddha room, and it's going to be located in the back right corner once we make our way around here. For our playthrough, it wasn't in this location, so we just moved on to the next one. It can be found on this beam right there. Our next location is going to be over in this room near the AK-74U, and it can normally be found on this shelf here, but again, for our playthrough, it wasn't there. Another location is in the power room itself over next to this sewing machine. This next tile is located on the desk in the spawn room. From there, another tile is located on the bottoms of the escalators near the quick revive elevator. This next tile is located in the room behind the escalator where we just were, in the room with the SVU sniper rifle. So once you know the order you need to punch the Spire's legs, you can go up there with the galvanized knucks and do so. It seems like if you hit them in the incorrect order, you have to go through one more round of zombies in order for the Spire's legs to light up again. That happened in ours, but I'm not sure if that is going to happen every time though. So just be a little aware of that. By the time you're awarded each perk, the achievement should have popped, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the Uprising Zombies DLC achievement guides as well.